This week on the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast.
In the last month, I've been telling myself, if the guy that took over my job, my routes, ever quit, I may go back to the company full time. And last week, the guy announced to the company that he was leaving to take a different job. Hi, I'm Chad the Quirky Picker. I'm a full-time reseller from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Hi everyone, I'm Denis the Freeay Flipper. I'm a full-time reseller from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
I'm an everything seller, but I love to sell all kinds of electronics and anything unique and vintage.
I'm an everything seller as well, but I really enjoy finding and flipping our vintage toys, Sony Walkmans, vintage electronics.
Join us each week as we discuss life as a full-time reseller. We will share our experiences, both the good and the not so good.
Learn from our expertise and our mistakes.
From sourcing to listing to shipping.
Customer interactions, we will cover it all.
This is the Full-Time Flippers
Reselling Podcast.
Welcome to the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast. This is episode 25, Denis, 25. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I am Chad the Quirky Picker, and I'm here with my co-host.
What's up, guys? Denis the Freeay Flipper.
Hey, Denis. Ooh, nice. Ooh.
That was a birthday gift.
Yeah.
It's kind of just hanging there.
Who did you treat yourself for your birthday gift?
No, my sister. I'll give her a shout out. My sister Julie ordered this, and I don't know. They do custom work. I forget. It's like Crazy Neon Company or something like that.
Yeah. Wow. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite gift. Now I can't change the logo. Now it's done.
You're done.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a lot of work.
I mean, it comes with a remote.
Ooh, what's that do? Turn flash it or different colors? Just on and off?
And you can go super bright.
Gosh.
And bring it back down.
You're in the big leagues now. I got to step up my game. I got to step up.
Yeah, you got to have one of these things.
I can just buy one anywhere, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, we didn't record last week. I just put out a best of the or not really a best of, but just some random bolos to tie people over until this week. Got my football jersey on here. Ohio State college football is going to be starting up here maybe this weekend. This comes out on Monday. I don't know. College football starting real soon. So in support of my team, I'm wearing a Buckeyes jersey today. My Joey Galloway jersey. Probably don't remember.
Galloway.
Yeah.
I do remember him. Wow.
Okay. That's a while ago. That's my era. Back then, you knew all the players in the team. Now it's hard to keep track. They transfer so fast. I don't even know what's going on. I'll figure out who's on the team first game.
Yeah.
So how was your last couple weeks?
I had a really good week and then a horrendous week this past week. Luckily, the weekend saved it because I was kind of freaking out. I don't know what happened. It was just probably the slowest week. I'd say Monday through Friday, maybe Monday through Friday morning. The slowest I've had probably all summer.
Yeah. Wow.
It was scary slow. Like, wow, there's no one buying anything. And if they are, $7, $8, $10, $12, something like that. None of those nice big $200, $300 sales that like really get your week going. And I made it a point to list a whole bunch of stuff over the weekend. And luckily it saved it somewhat. It recovered it, but it wasn't great.
So some of your sales were from the stuff you just listed, or you think just listing got your store going?
Both. I mean, what I listed 40 items over the weekend and then probably sold 8 of them that I just listed.
Okay. That's pretty good.
So yeah, I'll take that. And, but yeah, I mean, going on to like this week already, it's already completely different. It's just great. Like back to where it should be. So I don't know. Big vacation week, maybe. I don't really know.
Yeah. I always have a theory is eBay is going to cap me on how much I can make each month or not let me grow too fast. So a month ago when I talked about having 2 great weeks in a row followed by the worst week ever,
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, I'm like, is this eBay throttling me down because I was going to make too much money this month? There's no proof that happens, but
I always ask, why would they do that?
yeah, it doesn't benefit them at all.
Zero, right?
Right.
Right. If you don't make money, if I don't make money, then they
Yeah.
don't make money. So why would they do that?
I don't, maybe because I've seen theories like Josh Galt and some other guys have talked about that whenever they get to a certain percentage above, like over last year, it seems like their sales throttle down because eBay doesn't want you to grow too fast. But as long as you can handle it, why should eBay care?
I don't know.
Why should they care? Not saying they don't care.
They shouldn't care.
Maybe they have checks and balances in place behind the scenes. I don't know. I kind of wish we knew because then we could play the game a little bit better.
They'll never tell you.
Yeah. So last week I drove an RV with my family, loaded up the family, and drove to Beverly. No, from Lancaster to Acadia National Park in Maine. There's the mug. Got the mug to prove it.
There you go.
I didn't buy this on eBay. I bought it at a store in Maine. So we spent the night in Rhode Island the first night and then spent 4 nights in Acadia and then drove back home. Let me tell you, when you're traveling with the family and a 3-year-old, it's like, is it a vacation? I don't know.
No.
It's just making sure that he controls himself the whole time and that he's happy and whatever it takes. And the vacation comes second. But anyhow, Acadia is pretty incredible. I've been to Canada several times in different places, and a lot of it reminds me of that, except the coastline is just beautiful up there. I think, have you been there? You've been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my week. I didn't list anything the whole time I was gone, and I didn't put my store on vacation. I extended my handling time out 6 days. And then, after I forgot my laptop, and I was like, cause that's how you kind of have to adjust your business policies. And then I realized I'll just log in from my web browser on my phone into the eBay's website and change my business policies that way. And it worked. So I bumped it down back to my normal 3-day shipping. Sold 30 items while I was on vacation. Not great. Still not up to par, but better than no sales.
Yeah.
And, but because, those no sale weeks cause you to start thinking about other things. Let's move on to viewer mail. Each one of us shares at least one viewer comment. Do you have a viewer comment you want to share with us?
This is from one of our weekly viewers, Games Not Over 1576. Says, Fisher Price toys was one of my first items I would sell when I started selling on eBay. I don't find them as much as I used to. I had some really cool sets and figures in the past that sold very well. Yeah, I agree. We were talking about, I think that was one of my bolos. And I do find them from, I don't know. I think Games Not Over is right. I used to find them a lot more often, and now it's kind of, I guess it's more sporadic. And when you do find them, there's always pieces missing. There's always random stuff in there. But I used to find the sets already put together at yard sales, and thrift stores had them too. So yeah, I don't know. It's definitely still a bolo. But again, thanks for the comment. Thanks for watching.
Why do you think that you don't find them as much anymore? People have gotten rid of everything they want to get rid of in the last few years?
I say it's the other way. People are buying them because they had them as a kid, and now they're having kids, and they want them for their kids.
Okay.
And they're just hanging on to them, I guess. I don't know, because they last forever. Stuff is built so incredible. The plastic was so high quality. You're talking stuff from like the late 60s, early 70s, mid 70s. Let's say 67 to 77. Like that's the golden era for that.
I grew up with all of them. I mean, with a whole bunch of them. Yeah. So maybe they're just keeping them for their grandkids now in their toy tubs.
I agree.
My viewer mail comes from Dan in Demand, and he shared about ending and selling similar. We talked about that last week. While I don't do that anymore, but he says I end and sell similar on some items, and when I look and think, oh, why hasn't this sold in a while? And so he just had a pair of boots. He said he ended and sold similar, and they hadn't sold forever, and then they sold right away after he relisted them. So I'm not saying that ending and relisting isn't good. I just don't. I want to start tracking how long my items have been in the store. And Dan went on to say he doesn't like to do it a lot because it messes with his vendor cross listings.
Oh,
So because I assume if it sells in another platform, it cross references that item number into eBay and deletes it. So if that number is new, then it's no longer linked up with Vendu and all the other platforms he's listed it on.
probably. I don't use a subscription service to do it. I just cross list myself.
Yeah.
And then when it sells, you have to manually pull
Right.
it off of the platform.
So I'm assuming that's what he does. But yeah, it would be hard to keep track of if Vendu is doing all your deletes, and then you have 50 items in your store that aren't no longer linked with all the other items when it cross-listed for you, then you'd have to like kind of remember always to go out. So, but he says to keep track of when he listed the item, he puts the date he originally listed it in the SKU box. Now you don't use your SKUs, right? We've talked about that before, or at least for inventory.
I don't.
Right?
I don't care. No, I don't. And I don't care when it was listed either, because if it hasn't sold in 30 days, I'm going to end and sell similar. No matter what. Just this revolving thing.
And you're dropping the price every time.
Yep. Even if it's for $1. So I've changed something with the item. I've changed a little bit. If the title is bad, I'll move that around. But normally, drop it $1 and sell similar and send it out.
Yeah, but so you can't really run sales then on items that are more than 30 days old, because you don't have anything more than listed longer than 30 days.
I normally don't run sales. I do a coupon. The coupon seems to work. I have a lot of repeat customers, and then I'll promote. So, pick one of them, right?
Right.
Well, you can do 2 out of the 3, I guess, and sell similar, promote, and sale or coupon. Like I said, if you're going to do a whole bunch of end and sell similar, then you're not going to run a sale, because as soon as you do that, you're just ending it. So
but after a while, I can't remember, like, was this listed 5 months ago or a year and a half ago? Because it all kind of blends in. So I just want to keep track of that. So, but because if you put you want to run a sale, and you can't sort by your SKU to a date, especially if you also use it for inventory, you'd have no way of knowing what items you've relisted in the last 30 days or end and sell similar to add to the sale. I don't know. So I mean, everyone's got their own way of doing things. So it's kind of funny when you listen to other people talk about how they pack, how they list. Listing is so, like, some people only do it on their phones. Some people use phones and PCs combined,
Only on your phone.
You're only on your phone. Yeah.
That's it.
I use both. I'm usually in Terapeak on my PC doing research on the item I'm looking at. And once I find the one and then look at solds to see what they're selling for recently. And then I do a sell similar on one of the items, put the price in right away so I know it. And then maybe I'll put the weight in, other stuff in, then do it, save it as a draft, then go to my phone, take the pictures.
Oh, God.
Well,
that sounds so long.
Yeah, but if you want to add a video, you can take the video on your phone, then you got to send it over your PC, because you can't. I have no idea what is taking so long to add video to your ad.
Where do they think I'm taking video from? PC?
It makes no sense.
Yep.
Like
we are in the 21st century, and eBay is still like 1993.
Yes, that is ridiculous. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to home runs and strikeouts. We'll do home run. Okay. Your best and your worst sales of the week. But let's start off with home runs, and then we'll go to strikeouts. You have a home run?
Yeah. Let me pull it up here. Was this it? Yeah. This is my home run. And I've never heard of what this was. I've never seen this thing before in my life, but it's a Sony product. So for me, I go by two companies, and I usually buy anything that they make. Sony is one, Bose is the other, and I've really had great luck with both of those, no matter what it is. This thing in particular is called a Sony Magic Link. It's kind of like a, what would you call them? Like a PDA, almost like a, remember the Blackberries, the size of a phone,
Yeah.
the little stylus, and you could do all that stuff. This one was a little bit bigger. It's probably the size of a, oh man, it's
an Etch-a-Sketch.
It's a little smaller than that.
Okay. Yes.
But anyway, this thing was free, obviously, and the box was kind of beat up. There was some water damage on the bottom of it, but I'm like, I don't know. This thing looks cool. I'll grab it. It's free. Brought it home, opened it up. It looked like it had never been used. The batteries were out of the, has a rechargeable battery pack. Had two of those, still sealed in the plastic bag. It had some type of wires, like a power cable and AC, all this other stuff. They were there, like with the twisty tie still on it. And just for kicks, I plugged it in. The thing came right up. It's really cool. And you can see some of these, like here's one 200, 150. This one for parts only $100. This one right here is mine.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
There's me freaking flipper, $199. They used my coupon and then they paid shipping. I paid nothing. I paid nothing for this. And
so it's a repeat buyer then if they used your coupon.
No, right? I mean you could be a first time buyer and use it.
Anyone that subscribed to your store.
If you go on my store and see an item, and then you can see the little coupon come up and the code for it.
Oh, so it's a coupon code that goes inside the listing itself, so anybody can see it.
Anybody can see it, but you actually have to activate it at checkout. Okay. I have a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
But this one did. Anyway, that was my home run. That's like really a great way to start your week.
Right.
And it's already been packed up and sent out. Great pictures on it. I didn't sell it new or even open box because the damage to the box, like, I'll just do used. And it didn't matter. It sold within a couple of days.
Top dollar used. Yep.
Yeah.
My home run is something I just sold last night. It's one of those toys that I got in that tub of that attic, of that estate sale, all the 70s toys. And this was called Rom, the Space Knight.
Cool.
And he has like laser beam eyes and some lasers in his chest. And you can hook up a little external. Let's see if I got this little thing here.
Yeah.
Is that big? That plugs into the back, and then you can like put a gun in his hand, and it'll shoot a laser out. I mean, pretend, it's 1970s laser tech. So sold it full price, $250 with the accessories. So some of these accessories were expensive. Like some of these sell for like $30 each on their own, but I thought I would just put it together. There's his eyes. And it looks like one of the lights on his chest was out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it makes some sounds, some different sounds.
Very cool.
Yeah. That thing, that was the most valuable thing in the tub, I thought, when I first started going through it. So I'm glad I just listed it like a few days ago and it sold already.
Parker Brothers, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was my home run. Best sale. It was my best sale for sure.
Yeah, that's a good sale.
Yeah.
What is it, like a 12-inch? How big is that thing?
Yes, I think it's 12. Mm-hmm. And it's hard plastic with, I think the arms and stuff moved on it.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know what all it does, but it's rare. There's not a lot of them out there. You see more parts, I think, than you do the dolls.
Mm-hmm. Because mom and dad probably threw it away.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Do you have a strikeout you want to share?
I don't have a visual for this, but you can picture how bad this is going to go. I had a pair of golf clubs listed, and they were older tailor-made burners with the bubble shafts.
Okay.
And I had two of them. I think a 8.5 degree and a 9.5 degree. I was out at a yard sale and I found another one. This is the 10.5 degree. So I'm like, oh, cool. These other two have been sitting in the store for months. Might as well buy this one and then end that listing and create a new listing with the 8.5, 9.5, 10.5. Awesome. I paid nothing really. I think I had $3 into everything.
Okay. And they all matched.
But they matched. It was a great set. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I listed them, and I think I got an offer for like $40 plus shipping. And I'm like, sure, why not? So I have a nice box, packaged it all up, and I'm thinking, let me get the box around like 5x5, like this, and then tall. So I'm doing the math. I'm putting the dimensions in. He only paid, I think, $12 for shipping. I think it was like $12. And then for the clubs. So I have them all in there, and I could not get all 3 clubs. I did like 2 this way and 1 this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I couldn't get all of them under 49 inches.
Oh.
I think 46 or 47 is the cutoff, and then it goes, and then the price goes way up. I couldn't do it. Like,
With UPS, it goes up and high, huh?
Yeah. This was like 49.5 inches. And I am slamming the things down into the box. I'm taping it. I went and I took every piece of void out of it. So it was as small as it could possibly be. I ended up having to pay like $25, almost $26 in shipping. So it just completely cut out my profit.
Yeah.
It was, I made something on it, but I could have made another $15. All that effort and all of that energy going into packaging these things up. So
they were drivers, right? They weren't irons, because irons would easily be small enough. But
these were drivers, the big fat, head on them. As just like, I should have thought of that. So strikeout, sure. I didn't really get what I wanted to out of them.
What if you'd made the box 48 inches and then like 8 inches or 10 inches wide?
At this point, I'm just like,
yeah, right.
I'm all done. I'm all done with it. I had the perfect box. It was already 5x5, and it was already like 60 inches long. You just had to cut it down. I'm like, this is great. No.
The third club killed you. That
was what it was. And because it had to sit almost like on top of one, like this. And then that 3 inches difference caused like almost $18 or $16 in shipping more. So yeah. I'm not picking them up anymore. You can see them right back here in that brown bag. I have very few left, and I am not gonna
buy that brand.
I'm not gonna pack them that way anymore. I'll do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like irons, I love sending because I almost do like a big piece of cardboard, and I just fold it over.
Yeah, you're making all your boxes.
Yeah. But they're great. They're like 35 to 38 inches. That's it. Boom, boom. Send it out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a huge strikeout, but I wanted to make the money on it, and I really didn't. So
yeah. Well, my strikeout is, I sold something for $12. It's been in my store for a long time, and I thought I would get a lot more for these, or a little more for these, maybe. So what those are is this life-size fake fruit. Now, there was a time where other resellers on YouTube were talking about this kind of stuff, and it was good sellers. And I only got $12 for it, plus shipping. Shipped it out today. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah. It's got like a weird vinyl sort of feel to it, right?
Yeah, they're rubbery, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why movie props. I'm like, I wonder what do you buy these for?
I don't know.
Those were hard strawberries, but all this stuff here was soft. So I'm like, yeah, what do you, just for a table display? Maybe you're in painting. You're in painting class. You need to paint a bowl of fruit. I don't know. The options are endless. I should list all that in my ad. Look at all the great things you can do with this fruit. Just can't eat it. So yeah, $12. Sat in my store for over a year. Wow. Just happy to sell it. So, I've heard some other YouTuber resellers talking about, they're at a point now where they're taking almost any offer on product because it seems like sales are slowing down for a lot of them. And it's like, they're taking way less money than they would have a year ago just because they got to pay the bills.
Right.
And I'm like, there's a fine line in there. It's like, you don't want to undercut the market too much, but I'm okay being the cheapest person. But if everything's selling for $50 and I'm not taking a $20 offer on something that's selling, I'm taking maybe a $40 offer.
Right.
Or I'm counter offering at if they send me an offer for 20, I'm counter offering like a 45. I'm staying pretty high to my price because that a lot of times people are just fishing for a few dollars off. But if they make a really low offer, they think that you're going to counter in the middle.
Yep.
And maybe they'll get it for 30. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing that game. I'm countering for 45. I'll take $5
Yeah,
off.
I just had 4 offers when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was 50% off my asking price.
Yeah.
Half.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I can't do it. So I countered on all 4 of them and didn't sell one single item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm having that a lot. That's why I wish eBay would allow you to put a percentage in to the best offers to say, if it's less than 60% of my asking price, whatever that asking price is, deny it, or 50% or whatever you want to set it at, but not to have to put a dollar amount in there. Because like I said, as you drop the price, suddenly the dollar amount is like just $1 less. At some point it catches up. So make it a percentage, eBay. I know eBay is watching right now. I can see you guys.
They're listening.
Yes. All right. BOLOs and NOLOs. One thing to be on the lookout for and one thing that you wouldn't buy again. Do you have a BOLO for us?
Brand new to me. And this is this past weekend's yard sales that I found this. Guess how much I paid?
Nothing.
Nothing. Correct. This was in a free pile. I honestly thought this was something to do with a gaming computer. Oh, like maybe a memory or graphics card. I thought it was gaming, something to do with gaming. And I really should stop doing this.
The word Halo, yeah.
I saw Halo. I saw the cool colors in the front. Like, let me pull that thing up. You see the there's like I don't know, cool neon sort of lights and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was something like that. Anyway, I went and threw this in the back of my truck with some other free stuff. This thing is jostling around. I get it home and I look up RGF, either Ream or Remy Halo.
Yeah.
And what this thing does, it is it's like an air purifier for your HVAC system. So you would have someone actually install this into your HVAC, hardwire it, and it runs, and it's supposed to do some what is it, ionic?
Yeah, like just using ultraviolet light to kill germs. And that's how do you know that it was good? Maybe it wore itself out, and they replaced
this thing was brand new. Everything in it was sealed in plastic. The instructions, the mounting hardware, everything was brand spanking new. So it's listed right now as open box. But you can see some of these prices in here. I think I went high with mine. But some of these are like $400 new. There you go. You can see the lights right here.
Yeah.
Those are all pre-owned.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one brand new, $685 that sold. But I'm trying to get right around $300 for it.
Right. Yeah, that's still free to 300. That's
free.
Pretty high
you can
percentage
see
markup.
There's a lot of these that have sold this month. These are all August.
Yeah.
These are all August. 18th, 19th. I don't know what that one's doing in here, but I don't know if this is yeah.
What are they thinking?
I don't think they knew what it was. Yeah. I think they had no clue what this was. I don't know.
They could have looked it up on eBay.
All I did was scan. I scanned the barcode,
and
it came right up. I'm like, I almost, jumped out of my seat. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. So RFG is the company. It's actually called RGF. RGF Environmental Group is the company. And you're looking for this thing called a Halo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's a great find.
It's crazy. I've never heard about that or any, item like that, I had no clue that they were putting those into like an HVAC unit. But
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about air purifiers as a BOGO before on this show, maybe 5-6 episodes ago. So
that's like
I guess that falls in that category.
Air purifier on
Yeah.
steroids, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm going to call this a BOGO. I actually showed it on one of our episodes earlier. It is this dogfight board game. I think I held it up and you said, yeah, you sold that before.
Yep. Very
so
cool.
don't pass on vintage board games like 1960s that are unique, not your normal games that they still make today as reproductions. Games like this that have little intricate pieces. If I can find some here, where are we? Little airplanes and stuff. So this game sold for $56. It took, maybe it was 10 or more episodes ago. So yeah, it took 3-4 months to sell. But it was in a big lot of old board games that I bought from an estate sale. And this was I have several still sitting in my death pile that I haven't even listed yet. And I need to get them listed because I'm sure there's a few more that are worth at least $50 or more. But old board games that you have not heard of, at least look them up. Because I do find a lot that I look up and I'm like, geez, there's like 250 of these on eBay and only 20 sold. And I've never even heard of this game. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love the older stuff. Even the stuff kind of like before my time, like the mid 60s stuff is really cool. And they have a good following for some old games. Out of print games, stuff like you said, if it's reproduced and you're still being able to buy it, they're not going to buy your moldy, smelly 1980s version of the game. They're going to buy it brand new.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have a Nolo, something you wouldn't buy again?
It's going to be controversial. I'm just telling you right now. There's going to be haters coming for me, but there's a caveat. Okay. And mine is, I don't know enough about this genre, so I am not buying them. I am not dealing with them again. And it is modern comics. I'm staying away. I see these everywhere in big giant boxes. Oh yeah, $5 for $1 or whatever it is, or $1 a piece, something like that. And then I'm looking through and I'm like, oh man, I should probably get some of these. I got the carded, the back.
Yeah.
And it's got it's in the bag and all that. Worthless. It's $3 with free shipping, something like that. So I ended up giving probably 10 or 15 of them to my nephew. Like, here, just take them. I can't sell them. I'm not saying don't go out and buy comics. I'm saying educate yourself, learn what is valuable and what is not, learn what brands, what characters, what, all that stuff. I don't have that knowledge. I really don't. I didn't read comics as a kid. I didn't collect them, and I don't collect them now. So these have been sitting and sitting and sitting for, I don't even know how long. This one has like a card with it, like a baseball card size card.
Okay. Yeah.
These are Topps. I didn't know Topps made comic books. But their characters, I have no idea who they are. No clue. Now you go and the Marvel people are going to come out and the DC comic people are going to come out. I get it. There's a huge following. But you have to admit the majority of those comics are $3 and $4, $5, right? Like that's
right.
What they are. You start getting into 40s, 50s, 60s stuff, totally different ballgame. I am specifically talking about just modern, mass-produced, kind of like baseball cards, mass-produced modern stuff that just doesn't have much value other than one player or one card or one series. Everything else, 95% of the stuff's garbage. So it's just something I'm not going to get into anymore. I don't have the time to learn it. I don't have the interest to learn it. So I will be looking for things right in my wheelhouse, and I'll spend the money and the time on those.
Yeah. When I was like in 6th grade, my neighbor had a yard sale and I bought up like Archie comics and that era, like it was 4 for $1, I remember. And so I took over like $5 and bought like 20 comic books. I might have a few more than that actually, but I've just had them my whole life. They're in a shoebox here in my office. And I always thought they'd be worth a whole lot, something someday, but I probably should break them out at some point and look at them. My personal collection just kind of gets set to the side of selling because I keep buying at yard sales. So someday I'll get to them. My Nolo, and it's nothing new here, but is a Japan decorated bowl, mid-century, like 6.5 inches. It's red and blue. I think it was free, and I listed it, and I didn't even get $5 for it, and I had it for over 6 months. So you talked about stuff made in Japan and some little figurines and stuff. So it's a cool bowl. I mean, when I look at the pictures there, I mean, it looks neat.
Yeah, but it's flooded.
Yeah, and even with the stamp on the bottom, I don't know if I can zoom in on it or not. Whatever the brand is, I think I must have put it in the title. No, I don't know what it is. Anyhow, these old bowls, even if they're free, was it worth my time for $5? I don't know. It was in my store. I've been removing the items out of my store as they drop down below the $5 mark, and they've been there for 2-3 months. Some days I'll just sort by low to high in my active store and just take the lowest 5 items out, put it in my Goodwill box. That's kind of where I'm at now, just thinning out my store of the cheap stuff. I mean, I probably started it off at $15 just because I hate to list something that low, but you can't price it way above the competition and expect it to sell. Moving on to customer service. Talk about your most interesting customer interactions of the week. Do you have anything for us, Dennis?
It's a negative, and I almost saw it coming. I'll wait to see what you say and what you think I should do at the end of this. I sold, a jadeite, that green colored glass, really cool mixing bowl. It was $25 plus shipping. Took 15, 18 pictures of this thing. No cracks, just sometimes the glass, it's not flaws in the glass, but it's just how they fuse the glass together. There's discrepancies or whatever. Anyway, sold, delivered, intact. Buyer reaches out, says, "Hey, you never told me that there's some ring or something around it." I said, "I don't know. I didn't see it. I have no idea what the problem is." So, that was it. I said, I don't know. I didn't see it there. It's nothing. Nothing to disclose because I didn't notice it. 2-3 days later, she comes back with, "If you should reach out to me again before I leave feedback." Okay. So I reach out and I'm like, "Sorry that you're disappointed in the item. Please return it for full refund, and I can, I'll assist you further after you open a return." Nothing. Doesn't respond, doesn't open a return, doesn't return it, nothing. Bam, negative. Just leaves a negative feedback saying, seller wasn't honest in the description. Something like wouldn't get back to me. Something like I'm very unhappy with the customer service and the item. Right. That's why you can return it. So I responded to her negative saying, borderline feedback extortion. Buyer was told to open a return and they would be refunded fully. Buyer never opened a return, returned it, and beware is what I put.
I think eBay would remove that though. If you offer free returns and someone says so I think if you call up eBay, I think
I'm going to.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure once you respond to their feedback, I don't know if that locks it or not.
Oh, it's almost worth it just to have the response in there. I'm not afraid of negatives.
Yeah, I agree. You didn't do anything wrong. And they could have sent you a picture showing you exactly what they were talking about if they wanted to. Right? That's what
Anything.
I would ask for that
Or
personally.
how about this? Open a return.
Yes.
It's
Right.
free.
So it was $25.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're gonna put in item not as described, and they don't have to. I have to foot the
Right.
bill on that.
Mhm.
They didn't do any of it. So obviously it wasn't so bad. They kept the bowl.
Yeah.
It wasn't so bad that they didn't want it.
Maybe they're not realizing, like, would their eBay possibly be set up where they're not getting notifications that you're replying to their, but no,
I
but
don't know.
if they sent you a message in a
reply.
thread,
Yeah,
and they
it
can
shows
read
up.
your previous message.
Right.
It's all in the same.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I like about making it in a chat.
Yep.
So they can't claim they didn't read it, because remember how it used to be all separated. Every message was
Yes.
separate. Yeah.
This is almost like Messenger, where it just
Right.
continues the conversation.
Mhm.
So I wasn't upset about it. I said, that's why there's returns. I don't understand. So I let other sellers know that this person complains, was told to return it,
Yeah.
didn't, and then left a negative.
Yeah. You weren't snarky enough. I think you could have
I should have
upped it a little.
I should have had you write the
Yeah.
response.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a neutral feedback this week. I guess it's my fault. I shipped some books, some kids' books, paperback books. There's like 6 of them. Clifford the dog books from the 1960s, 70s. I don't know when they first came out. Maybe 80s.
70s and 80s.
70, yeah. It's like 6 of them. I stacked them all together, wrapped it in cardboard, and stuck it in a bubble envelope. And I guess the envelope got wet. And they said the books had water damage. They said that they were very disappointed, and that I'm the first person that's ever shipped them a book that it hasn't been wrapped in poly mailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I should have done that. I have 2 types of bubble envelopes: the yellow ones, which get wet, and then absorb, but they're still got bubble on the inside, which protects it a little bit. But then I have like the eBay white ones that I think are waterproof.
Yeah.
And I must have shipped them in a yellow one. So it's my own fault. But yeah, if you're going to ship books, apparently people like them. If there's a poly mailer at some point, just in case that package gets wet, I guess it's something I don't really think about, but depends on the weather.
I do all mine like that.
You put all your media in a poly, or your books?
In a poly, everything goes in a poly, but books will be wrapped with cardboard and then put into a poly.
Yeah, right. You don't, but your media just goes in the bubble envelopes. Your CDs, or no,
CDs will get one wrap of the CD will be encased in a little strip of cardboard, then one wrap of bubble, and then into an unpadded poly mailer. That's it.
Okay, you're not using bubble mailers.
They're too expensive.
Okay. Every once in a while, find them on Facebook Marketplace locally.
Okay.
Someone will sell, like, they're getting out of the business, or whatever, and just selling off their stuff for pennies. Yeah. I'll usually buy those. No. So you don't use bubble mailers? I like bubble mailers, but
only if I get them for free, and I'll reuse. You can see some down here.
Yeah.
I'll reuse the Amazon ones. I love those.
Yeah. Okay. Story time. I have a story, but do you have a story? You want to go first? Because my story is going to take a while.
Story is quick. I got to go to the annual Freeay at this local church down the street, where they just throw everything out on this lawn, and they invite the community to come down and take whatever you like. So we went there, and we got clothing, we got some shoes, I got some hats, some electronics, some media, a couple of baseball bats. It was amazing. So was I greedy because I'm going there to resell it? Was I, these are the questions that you have as you're there. I mean, if you look at it, I am using this stuff. This is my full-time job. It is literally feeding, clothing, and putting a roof over my 3 kids' head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I'm like, I don't know about this. But then I'm like, there's so much. And even the priests and the ministers were like, please take it. We have to get it out of here. All of this stuff. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those conflict things. You know, was I the only reseller there? Probably not. You know, there's this one woman came over and she sees me looking through this big giant thing of Matchbox cars. And she's like, "Oh, are you gonna grab that?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "You want it?" She's like, "Oh, absolutely." She's like, "My son's autistic and he would love this."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Sure." I said, "Where's your car? I'll help you. You can't even pick this thing up. There's so many in here." So I helped her. I brought it to the car for her. And then we went back inside looking through the clothing piles. If you watched my Instagram, I put it on the Instagram. I mean, there's like 3-foot tall piles of clothing on all of these tables everywhere. There's so much. They could have had this thing for like a whole 3-day weekend and there would still be stuff there. So I left feeling blessed and lucky, and I found some great stuff. So I'm going to be listing that. But I go every year. They advertise it. Like I said, advertise it to the public. I guess my question for you people would be, would you take part in something like that? It's a real simple yes or no. You see it advertised, free day. You just go there and take whatever you like. They hand you contractor trash bags, giant contractor bags, and say, fill it up. So let us know in the comments. I'm curious. Would you take part in that? Yes or no? And I'll ask Chad the same question.
So it's a bless the community kind of thing. What's it advertised as?
They just call it free day. And they said it's every year in August on this certain weekend.
Yeah.
And then they allow everybody to come in and just take whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. I'd probably be I wouldn't have a problem taking stuff to resell, but I'd be pretty picky on what I took just because I don't want to steal toys out of kids' hands.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. That's a moral dilemma.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, like I went there and there was a whole table of electronics and stuff, and there's no one looking at it. No one looking at any of it. They wanted the clothes and the shoes and the glassware.
Yeah.
Everyone was taking piles of glassware. I'm like, cool. You know, I don't really want much of that. So I loaded up my bag. I got a saxophone. I got
nice.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. So I filled my bag and that was it. I mean, and then they were giving out other stuff. I'm like, nope, I don't need it. Thank you. And it's weird. And I could see totally both sides of it. I'm sure we're going to have one side and the other. We're going to have both. But yeah, I guess don't be greedy and just be thankful and you know, make sure you are using it for the right things. I mean, I don't know. It's free stuff. It's my middle name. Actually, it's my first name.
You had to take it.
I kind of had to. I was like, wait, is this for me? Free day? You're putting this on for me?
Right.
So that was it. That was last weekend.
Yeah. All right. Well, my story is kind of long, kind of hard to say, actually. It was 2 years ago this month that I quit my full-time job. I was a delivery truck driver for a company that I really loved my job, and I did it for 10 years. And I quit to become a full-time reseller. I was selling part-time, and I figured if I dedicate all day long to reselling, that I felt like I could do better than my job. And so it's been a few years, and I've got to the point where you can only have so many weeks where you don't make enough money to make ends meet. And you got to start thinking, do I need a job? Do I have to go back into the workforce? And the company that I used to work for, I've been working part-time. If they need help, I help them. If they need someone to run a delivery somewhere, I've done it, but I haven't done anything for the last couple months, but I was maybe doing 1 day a week there for a while when they were really busy. But in the last month, I've been telling myself, if the guy that took over my job, my routes, ever quit, I may go back to the company full time. And last week, the guy announced to the company that he was leaving to take a different job. So now it's like, oh man, I think I'm supposed to go back into the workforce. The benefits, it pays for my healthcare.
Yeah.
They give me more benefit than the healthcare cost. So that was always a big thing. I'm paying that out of pocket, and my wife's stay-at-home mom raising a 3-year-old. That's kind of where we're at right now. So I have no other income. I'm the sole provider of the family. So I talked to the company yesterday, and I said I would take the job. So in a couple of weeks, the Tuesday after Labor Day, I'm going to go back full time with the company. So I know this is the full-time flippers. We're both full-time flippers, but in my heart, I'm still a full-time flipper. So, I mean, I told Denis, and because I can't help but maybe feel like a failure in some ways. Like I've tried to start businesses before, and they never quite go the way you think they are. But I was single at the time when I've done this in the past. This is the first, now the first time since I've had a family that I've tried to venture out on my own, and I can make as much money as I can at my full-time job, but I need more. I'm not making enough. And I just keep pulling from savings every month when you don't have enough money. And I can't save for cars, I don't have any extra money left over to save. And so until my son, my 3-year-old, can get into school all day long and my wife can go to work, I decided I'm just going to go back to part-time. So.
Well, please don't think of yourself as a failure, because being the only breadwinner for a single person, most people can do that, especially if they're going to do a full-time reselling just to take care of themselves. Do full-time reselling and you're the only one making money to take care of a family of 5.
4.
I don't know.
I got 2 kids, but yeah.
2. Okay. So anyway, it's I don't know how people can do that. I don't know if you can do that. It's the up and down roller coaster, is just so extreme sometimes, and you need that constant source of income that just comes in every single week. And I commend you for doing what's best for your family. I know it must sting a little bit, but that's that's pride, right? And just put that aside, and you're doing the right thing. How long do you want to continue with this roller coaster? Like I guess we can pay the mortgage this week or this month. I don't know. Versus no, now we're doing the best. I'm doing the best thing for my family. Does it mean I can never go back? Of course not. You can always go back to reselling full time. That's the beauty of this job. You can scale it down. You can scale it back up. The time is right for you to scale it down. The time might be, a year, 2, 3, who knows? You can go right back into it again. At least you're doing it on your terms, saying, yes, I think it's the right time to do it, versus we are in big trouble here. We are going to lose our house, or we're way behind. And now I have to get, you should have done it earlier. You're doing it right on, bam, let's do it. The opportunity came up and it looks like you're going to take it and run. I don't know. It's, I do the same thing.
Yeah. The job that I'm taking, I like. So it's not like I'm going to hate going to work. Right. I enjoy it. And I'll probably start my days like at 5 a.m. and be over it's 4 days a week. So I can always have my Fridays off for yard sailing. My day will be over like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I can just stop at my warehouse on the way home, pack up my items, maybe list a few things and before I even come home. So, that's what I did for several years when I had this job, and I get unlimited supplies of cardboard boxes at my job. Good. So I can burn cardboard to keep me warm in the winter if I need to. I have that much. It's a lot. So yeah, it's just when I just thought I could make more money doing reselling. And this is all, I just realized I'm only capable of making what I'm making now the way I'm working now. Are there little things maybe I could do to change? Maybe. And, maybe I can be more super focused when I'm doing, but with my ADD, undiagnosed ADD, I get easily distracted in the middle of something. And next thing you know, it's like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I I wish I would have had all my items packed up yet. I haven't packed anything yet today. So I want to keep that status as a full-time flipper, and now I'll just be a part-time flipper. So maybe we're going to have to redo the beginning of our show to reflect where we're at now. But
full-time, part-time.
Yeah. So we'll keep the name for sure, but
yes.
On podcasting, I'll try to, I want to keep the podcasting going if all possible. I know now that I'm much more limited on time I can spend to reselling, something might have to give.
Being completely transparent, my wife works full-time. She has all the benefits. So I can't even compare what I do to what you do other than we both resell. That's where the similarities stop, right? Like that's it. So I can only imagine trying to do this whole thing on your own. It's very, very difficult.
Well, my wife, she loves to put stuff on Facebook. She's on Facebook, all the marketplace all the time. And if she could, she'd help me.
Yeah.
I mean, I work at a warehouse 6 miles away, but there's still a lot like clothing and stuff that she likes to sell. She could easily add, but she just doesn't have the time right now with a 3-year-old in the house, and he's a lot of work. So, and even Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker, he's been quoted as saying that if all he did was full-time resell, he thinks he could get by, but he'd be poor. So he only quit his job because he was making enough on the media, on the YouTube side and the video side to supplement his leaving his teaching job. So everything that he does, he only devotes like 20 hours a week to eBay, but he has his family's doing whatnots. His daughter and his wife do whatnot auctions all the time. He's a really good at marketing, good salesman. So even if Kevin says if he did full time, he'd be poor, then that says a lot, that, and I know we're going into Q4. I almost kind of wish this would have happened at the end of the year, because I feel like it's going to ramp up here.
Oh yeah. And
I'll be missing out on some sales, but I still, I got enough in my store, and I got a huge death pile. I'm going to back off maybe yard sales just a little bit here to try to get through what I have. So I just wanted to be transparent with our viewers that that's kind of where I'm at. So hopefully you don't notice anything different on the podcast.
I mean, there might be just an empty chair over here and I'm just talking to myself for a while, but no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. We might have to bring a third person in, get another full-time reseller in here to balance the scales towards full-time versus part-time.
I mean, is it going to be, you said we're not going to change anything, right? So it's not a bad time to bring up swag.
Nice. Love it.
Look at all these
coasters. Wait,
stickers, kid. The stickers.
Nice.
Got a whole mess of them.
How are we going to get rid of those stickers?
I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just throw these away now.
Yeah, right.
No.
We're going to have to change our name. Sorry, Dennis. Got all that money invested.
You come up with whatever you think, but it's still, I mean, this logo is absolutely insane, but this is a good logo. That would look really cool on your coffee mug, on your laptop, your desk. So we should give some of these away.
It's interesting. It says it's 3:00 on the clock on the sticker.
Yep.
And that's what time we record this podcast. Did we do that intentionally?
I totally did that on purpose or by chance.
One or the other.
Yes. Shoot me a message and I can get some of these out to you guys. Courtesy of the Full-Time Flipper Show.
Yeah. Type sticker in, and then what? They have to send you your address, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, I'll just shoot them out there. There won't be tracking. I'm not doing any tracking and all that craziness. You're gonna get a stamp in an envelope.
All right.
Maybe I'll even autograph the back for you.
Ooh. Then what? When you peel it.
Yeah, then you have an autograph and a sticker.
All right. I guess that's all we have for today. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Well, I don't have a ton to say, but things change in your life, and families come and get bigger, or jobs change and all that stuff. This job, reselling, it's kind of always going to be here, guys. You can take a break. You can, like I said, you can scale it down. Secondhand selling isn't going anywhere. It's one of the oldest jobs out there. So don't be afraid to take a break, leave it, come back, scale it, go shorter, like take time off, stuff like that. It's not like a traditional 9 to 5 in a lot of aspects. I tend to work too much, and I hear it from my family, like you're always working. I talked about it before. I'm totally afraid to go back to a 9 to 5 or police work, to be honest with you. I just don't want to do it. Not afraid of the job. I'm afraid of the commitment and the nights, holidays, weekends, forces, and all that. So that's why I keep working. I have been blessed in the fact that I'm in a position to do this full time. I would be right there with you, Chad. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The benefits alone, I couldn't even cover that on a week-to-week basis. So I consider myself lucky. I'm not a great reselling business guru. I'm totally not. I do this because I love it, totally passionate about it, and I enjoy it so much. But again, the stars had to align for me to be able to do this full time. So that's it, guys.
I love it too. I mean, I don't ever want to stop reselling. So
you won't.
I
don't think you will. See. You have a knack at, the electronics and the cool, weird, quirky items that you find, and you enjoy it so much. It's always going to be a part of your day, your week, your month. Like I said, you just have to scale it back a little. That's all. Now,
the name Quirky did not come from the items that I buy. When my wife was, someone was trying to set my wife and I up on a blind date. And my wife asked 2 different people that knew me, it's like, how would you describe him? And they said, I don't know. I guess he's quirky, maybe quirky. So 2 different people described me as quirky. So when I was trying to come up with a name of what kind of picker I wanted to be, but anyhow, I'm happy with Quirky Picker. And all right, well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us this week for episode 25. And
25. Get out there, guys. Get some stuff. Summer is not over. Go to those yard sales and let us know what you find. I'm curious. And if you want, we will send you stickers, kid.
Yeah, write sticker in the comments. Dennis will get those out. Like and subscribe, please.
That's right. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.